Welcome to the Real P&L show, where I trade my three accounts and I share my real P&L on all three of those accounts. And I also share my proprietary SafeWheel options trade system for free. Um, I want to also make sure you guys hear me okay. Let me know, give me a little bit of feedback. Also, post any questions you might have. Uh, the sooner I can get to those questions, the better. If I try to get to them towards the end of the broadcast, sometimes I don't get to them. So post those questions now. All right. You guys can see my screen here, and you should be able to see. And what you see here is that I did not trade anything on the earnings edge last week. There was nothing that fit through the filters that was worth trading. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet so I can kind of go over the earnings edge. So the last thing I did was CrowdStrike, made 560. Since my last update of 2020, my earnings edge system has 30 wins, 20 losses, 8 break even, 60% win rate. Average win around $700, average loss around 580. And you can see the returns from 2022. This is my live account. 2023, 2022 vastly outperformed. 2023 underperformed a little, comparing to the S&P 500. So far this year, about half of what the S&P. Well, let's put this number in here. The market's down pretty good right now. What is SPY trading? It is trading at 556.59. Oh. So it's not too far. It's fairly almost the same as what it was last week at this time. You can see the S&P is up 17% for the year. The earnings edge is up 8%. Overall, since 2022, when I started trading this live in this account, I'm up around 107% on the earnings edge. The S&P since 2022 is up 17.19. So you can see that it's vastly outperforming. It does have more risk though. So you have to understand that the earnings edge has some more risk to it than holding the S&P 500. Okay, so that is the earnings edge. Like I said, nothing passed through the filters. Let's talk about the Premier Level 5. Okay, so here I have my account. I trade this particular account in Interactive Brokers because when you trade options on /ES on futures in Thinkorswim, the cost is just super high. So that's why I use Interactive Brokers for this particular account. Let me refresh this. So you can see 30,459. I'll put that in the spreadsheet there. See how the earnings edge, how the Premier Level 5 S&P variant is doing. 30,459. So you can see how I started this on July 16th, 2024, this particular variant. So I have the Premier Level 5, but what I have is a specific variant specifically to outperform the S&P 500. So I've been comparing myself to the S&P 500 since this day, July 16th, 2024, when I started this variant and this exact trade plan, started with $30,000. I'm up 1.53%. The market since that particular day is down 1.19. So you can see that I'm outperforming the market as expected. Right now, this particular variant will also go down with the market, so it doesn't have the low drawdowns as the Premier Level 5 by itself. Because it's this variant, it'll also draw down with the market, but will outperform. Well, I can say it's going to outperform. Well, you're just looking at it and you'll know the numbers and you'll see whether it outperforms or not. So why claim anything? You just look at the numbers, and that'll be the proof. Or either it will or it won't, because the numbers will be right here. Okay, now SafeWheel. What is going on with the SafeWheel? I'm going to bring that account in. Oh, I didn't show you my P&L. 10,891. Put that in there. Make sure that's in there for the earnings edge. Let me go back up a little bit. 10,891. So my numbers are a little better than what I had said before. Okay, which is fine. Okay, so that's 21 divided by 26.68, 78%. So yes, it's within the range. How about days? It's got to be within 100, over 100 days. Otherwise, this particular put hedge will depreciate too fast. So that's good. So, and then also, um, do I have this call here that I paid $5 for? And it's just to protect my hedge. Everything looks good on the hedges. So now I'm looking at the routine traditional wheel, and I see that I own 100 shares at 29.50. Can I sell? And I like to sell in the near term this particular week. Can I sell the 29.50 or higher? So let's take a look at that. Make sure I have JD in here. Okay. 29.50 calls. I cannot sell. So my goal here is to sell this for at least $29, $30, and I can't get the premium. Just can't get it out of there. So I'm going to open up a second tier and I'm going to sell a put. I'm going to sell another put. What I'd like to do is go back where I can sell a put here at the 26.50. See, I know I have enough premium here, and then I'll go back one. So I'm going to sell one of these, the 27 put. See what I can get, maybe $56 for it. And this will be my trade. I'm opening up a second tier, another put. So it's possible that, okay, that filled. It's possible that I would be long 200 shares. I won't go long 300 shares. Okay, so this is the maximum amount of money that I will deploy towards owning shares. So that's really a simple, traditional wheel, putting on a second layer here. So in essence, yes, doubling down, but I have my capital outlaid and it's set up to where I know exactly how my capital is being used. And so I can afford to have long 200 shares because I have these puts that are could be equivalent to, if they're in the money, to 300 shares. Okay, so I know how much capital I can use here. So it is, in essence, though, kind of like doubling down. But the thing is, I'm getting in here at a lower price, closer to my put. So if I'm forced to own 200 shares, I'm typically getting it closer and closer to my put, where my put protects me even more. Okay, see if there's any questions about any of that. Oh, shoot, I got audio problems. Audio's bad. Okay. Let me see here. Let me switch my audio. Let's see if I can do that. Settings. Audio. Okay, can you guys hear me okay now? There's an audio. Okay, when I started the wheel discussion, thanks for letting me know. Okay, so as far as the wheel discussion, what I was talking about was, my audio should be working now. Audio is good, thank you. Okay, so as far as the wheel, what did I do? So the first thing I did was I looked at my 100 shares and realized I've got a cost basis of 29.50. So I went to go try and sell a covered call at 29.50 or higher, and I could not get that. Right. So what I decided to do is add a second tier. So the 29.50, I couldn't get any premium. I wanted to get at least $30 in premium. I couldn't get it. So what I decided to do is add a second tier here. So I'm actually going to be possibly long 200 shares by adding the second tier. So at 26.50, I could get the premium I want, but I always typically go there and then I come back one to try to get a little more premium here. So I went to the 27. So I sold that 27 put. Now, as far as these hedges, let me back up a little bit. The hedge, there's three questions I ask with the hedges. Number one, do I own 200 shares? Because if I do, I want to see if my put hedge is paid off. The answer is no. Number two, how many days do I have left in my put hedge? If it's under 100, I need to move it. The answer is no. And number three, is my put hedge within 70% of the price of the underlying, and it was about 78%. Let's see, I did the calculations. Yeah, it was about 78%. So it is close enough to protect me. So my put hedge is good. And then of course I have my long call right here that I have, which is just to protect this put hedge right here in case the market, this particular JD just shoots up higher. I'll have this long call right here at 29.50. And I do all my trading within this particular week. So today's Tuesday. So by Friday, my traditional wheel things will play out. They'll expire on Friday. Okay, so let's see if you guys can, hopefully you can hear me. And I went through the portion that I think you missed with the audio. So let's go here with a question. Scott, is the safe wheel, why is the put hedge 3 puts instead of just 1? Because I could possibly go long 200 shares. And not only do I go long 200 shares, but I could be long those 200 shares further away from the put hedge. So for the put hedge to protect me, the market has to move, or the stock has to move even down even further. And so if I'm long 200 shares as it's making its way down, I'm losing on those 200, but I do have 300 to protect me. So it kind of evens itself out. The hedge with this system is pretty well justified. It's not overpriced, and it's not really underpriced. It does a pretty good job of, I'm not overpaying for the hedge. But yeah, I need 3 of those to protect my potential being long 200 shares further out of the money. Shovel says first. What's up, Shovel? Okay, Will, short week, almost didn't have enough premium for the put. Yeah, well, correct. Let's look at that. Yeah, see, that's things barely out of the money right there. So actually it's a little bit, it's in the money a little bit. Actually, I should have sold this 26.50. Let's take a look at this. Get out of here. Yeah, actually I should have sold the 26.50 because it was a little bit out of the money. But this one right here being in the money just a little bit, I'm still collecting. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, technically, yeah, I should have went with the 26.50 because it's out of the money. The 27's in the money. Didn't catch that, but thanks, Will, for bringing that up. But I'm not worried about it. I'm still collecting a vast amount of premium right here. I'm not worried about getting assigned. If there wasn't enough premium for the put, would we close everything out or do one Blaze of Glory trade? Well, there should be enough premium for the put. That's the reason why I chose this stock. So something drastically would have to change with JD because I've already kind of pre-screened it to have enough premium. So I've never ran into that scenario where all of a sudden it doesn't have enough premium. So I don't plan on running into that scenario, but if I did, what would I do? Well, I would just probably sell something at the money like I just did. And it would be a temporary kind of fix, right? Okay, you guys are telling me my audio is bad. Okay. And Will was kind of walking people through. I did buy that $5 call on Friday, right? I do buy this long call. I buy those on Friday. You never know, over the weekend, something could happen. Maybe the price of the stock pops really high. And I want to make sure I have my protection. I'm protecting this put hedge. Okay. Will said, I think this is the first time we sell a put in the money. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I should have been out of the money a little bit. I missed that, but that's okay. I'm not enough to change it back. Like I'm not, there's enough extrinsic value in that put, and I'm okay if I get a sign there. I'm not worried about that. Okay, less is more. Tells me audio is working. You know, I checked my audio before the live stream started, but I guess sometimes it's not always good enough to do it that way. Steve-O, not sure why I didn't sell 26.50. Was slightly out of the money. Yeah, for sure. Got me, you know, there. Wasn't paying attention to that as much as I should have. Should have realized that I was in the money just a little bit there. But I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to like close this out and then redo it because I feel like the $27 one is it's got enough extrinsic value in it. But typically, yeah, I should have sold that 26.50. Will, can you show your risk graph? Sure. Let's see if I can get to the analyze here. Yeah, it looks, I got some long deltas, it looks like. But yep, there's my risk graph here for this particular trade. This trade's based on percentages, not really based on risk graphs and things like that. Certain variables. Will, I think I've mentioned this before, but I prefer buying a $5 put in this position because the 100 shares provide enough protection going up, but going down, the protection isn't good. Yeah, I like that you're thinking about that. The $5 put might be helpful. If I did buy a $5 put, what would it look like on the risk graph? Maybe I can put it on there. Yeah, it's not major. Let's see. Yeah, see that put makes a little bit of a difference. See, not too much. But yeah, if the market went down or JD went down significantly, definitely would make a big impact. Let's see here. Okay, any other questions? I also want to mention a couple things. I am going to actually open the doors for the PL5 Pro. It's an updated PL5. That's the update to my PL5 trade. It's really good. I mean, the update is just fantastic. It's called the PL5 Pro. I'm going to be doing an information session on September 17th about that, and I'm probably going to be opening up the cart for that thing. Haven't opened up the cart since January, so it's been 8-9 months since I made the PL5 available. All right. Take Will off the screen. I can't see you. Okay. All right. Will, you're referring to yourself in third person. Okay. All right. One thing I like to say always in parting is, well, less is more. Less is more says, everyone, please hit the like button. Yes, that would help out significantly if you hit that like button. It helps with the algorithm. I think everybody knows that by now. I think it's a common knowledge about that. Anyone that has a YouTube channel, they want you to hit that like button. But I always forget to talk about it. I'm not really great about promoting. I'm more of a trader trying to be a promoter rather than a promoter trying to be a trader, which I think most instructors are. They're all promoters trying to be a trader. I'm a trader trying to be a promoter, right? So I forget about these things. But what I'd like to say in parting is I appreciate you guys. And if the P&L is not real, what else are they trying to conceal? I'll be back next week.